Pinterest used to be an artist's haven for references and discovering artists they like. But now it's all AI and it's so sad. And if you're like me using Pinterest but also not want to accidentally run into AI content for references or you just want to support real artists, I have a solution. Although Pinterest does not always label AI generated content, its algorithm has a secret trick that I'm going to share with you today. It's a really helpful tool, but you should also keep in mind some signs that the posts you're seeing is AI generated. If you already know all the signs, great stuff. You can skip to this time frame to know how you can use Pinterest to watch out for AI content. If you're a bit unsure, stick with me. I will tell you that the first thing you need to do is learn to differentiate human error from AI error. If you notice an error, think whether an artist would make an error or is it just unnatural to make. There are many signs of AI errors. Disclaimer: do not harass the AI bros. Your effort gets wasted on their no logic, high ego, AI is the future mindset. Ignore them and continue making awesome art. Number 1. Anatomical errors. This is not just your six finger artworks. AI does not know how the human body works. It does not study anatomy the way we do. Artists see shapes. AI sees pixels, so it just makes it good enough to see for a second or two and then scroll past. With our short attention span, we might just ignore this error, but if you're thinking of using something as a reference or inspiration, take a little more time just to confirm if it's human made or not. You may notice some more uncanny stuff like weird teeth, weird hands, weird eyelashes that melt into other parts of the picture, weird hands, weird ears, or weird whatever that is, weird hair, and weird hands. It really hates hands. It really can't do anatomy well, but we're not masters either. So think about it. Can someone who can draw shoulders with clean line art really make such an error that actually takes more effort to make? Number 2. Details, or the lack thereof. AI does this thing where it adds extra details in a way that looks fine for a split second, but then you go back and you're like, wait a minute. This is where I have to introduce you to the concept of illusion of detail. Artists often use efficient brush, brush, brush strokes to sort of trick your brain into thinking there's a lot of detail. Take a look at this amazing artist's work. Initially, it looks like a lot of intricate detail on the hair, but when you look closer, these are just very thought out brushstrokes. Brush? I give up. This skill requires a good knowledge of brushes, textures, shape language, and color. Now, AI does not use this technique because all it cares about is that its pixels follow the patterns of the artworks that it has seen before. Since it generates pictures pixel by pixel, these techniques fly over its head. However, it's likely that AI models know of this technique through all the patterns that it tries to capture. So, when it attempts to replicate that level of detail, it either adds too much detail or too less. Most of these details are absolute nonsense. Take a look at this mechanical hand. Each knuckle has inconsistencies. Anyone who does mechanical art or anyone who does any kind of art would know that it's going to be the same mechanism for each finger. So there is no need for a varied mechanism. Take a look at this. At first glance, it's all fine, but somehow AI knows that the more detail is added, the more distracted the viewer gets, not knowing where to see. AI only has the capacity to almost look like something. Which takes me to the next error. Number 3. Conceptual errors. Take a look at this. Why are her earrings floating? Why is she balding? Why is this block of hair flying against the wind direction? What's with the fingernails over here? These are conceptual errors, where natural concepts such as physics or anatomy or artistic concepts such as shape language are not fully understood by AI models. To cover it up, it tends to make colors extremely well because all it can see are patterns of pixels. So don't be scared to look past the detail that is there. Question everything before trying to use what may be AI in your inspiration. Usually, AI tends to be safe with one or two light settings, but sometimes you may come across something like this. The hair has a red glowy light, but the cheek has a whitish light hitting from the same direction. If red light and white light were to come from the same direction, the white light would dominate, making this a conceptual error. Artists also tend to render eyes in the same way, so this is definitely a sure tell sign of AI usage. There's also something about clothing folds for which it gives a lot of detail, but once in a while you can spot something that looks odd. Number 4. Unintentional lines. AI does not have any intentional lines like an artist does. So, usually, you may find some stray lines that don't contribute anything to the picture. I don't know how AI interprets line art, but it certainly gets confused all the time, which leads to color or line bleeding, where everything just melts into one another. It's an error that artists won't do because artists have more intention with their lines, no matter the skill level. Number 5. Similar prompts or style. People who use AI prompts to generate all of this tend to share their prompts, and some also post multiple versions of the same prompt, only slightly different. As an artist, I can confidently say that no artist is gonna make so many versions of their art the way AI prompt writers do. While they love stealing art from artists online, they also love taking prompts from elsewhere and sticking it in their own AI model. This is where the trick I mentioned will come in handy. Pinterest is trying to build an inclusive AI algorithm with color, body type, and hair pattern inclusivity. This categorization also helps the AI with the search image tool. When you do this for an artwork, you can find similar pieces. Now, some of these may be a bit too similar. This is how you figure out that the concept was stolen from some other prompt to generate it again, or that one prompt writer wanted to generate many versions of the same prompt. Either way, Pinterest is very good at identifying similar pictures. That's how I found that this artwork was fed into AI to make these images. While I'm on the topic of AI generation, I want to make a few things clear. It may seem AI tends to go for particular styles, but that's not always the case. AI can generate images in different art styles. It may not work exactly the way the art style originally is, but it can do a decent mimicking. You can still train your eyes to see how it mimics art styles. For example, Ghibli AI work will always have extra rendering for no real reason. Real Ghibli goes for simple cell shading. But just because it may look like AI work, do not immediately accuse someone of using AI. Those who claim to be AI artists steal from other artists and may feed other artworks to AI. So the artist may be a victim of this exploitation. Look for two or three signs in their artworks before making a judgment. A good thing about algorithms is that once you stop interacting with the content you don't like, it won't show it to you. So it doesn't take long for Pinterest's algorithm to stop showing you AI art. You don't have to always be on your guard, but you may catch some strays. It also helps if you know the artist of the art style or artworks you're fond of. This way, you'll be more certain if it's AI or not. For example, I've been following Ilya Kushinov for a while, so I can tell that this is his art style and this is AI slop. If you're just discovering an artist, I'm sure they would love to give you proof that they're not AI, so just ask them or look for legitimate speed paints in their account. Also, if you're skeptical of someone's art, just go to the Pinterest account and do some digging. If you see more of what seems to be AI, very likely that what you're seeing is also AI. Let's take the picture of what seems to be Ilya's art style mimicked by AI. There's no account here, but there is a watermark in case someone steals AI content. So I look up this name and I find an account on Instagram that says Niji Character Artist in the description, which already means they're using Niji Journey, a generative AI application. But also, if you go through their content, it's of different art styles and moods, all vastly different. An artist can do many art styles, but they can't shift between them every single day. AI prompt writers post content almost every day. At least this account is a bit honest that they use Niji, but most accounts don't. So be careful. And now you're well equipped to figure out your way outside Pinterest AI posts. If there's one good thing AI generated art has done, it's about the definition of art. Art was obviously made by human beings, but now that we have exploitation of other artists into play by AI, it makes it obvious that the only definition of art that matters is that it is something made by human beings. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you can check out my other video about the use of line art and whether it restricts you. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe. Bye.